Okay, take 3. Apparently, universe doesn't want me to record a video today. Well, if this one isn't recorded, then I'll know for sure that I'm not meant to record a video today. So I was explaining that I apologize for the lengthwise, is that a word? Videos, because my tripod is broken and I can't put the phone this way on it for some reason. So I gotta figure that out because I prefer the videos this way. Anyways, but this one works if you're watching videos from your phone, because then it'll take up your whole phone. But anyways, okay, so I don't have a specific topic for this video, but I really wanted to make one for the energies of the collective, and also so the energy of the energies of the collective, what's been going on, and also about the importance of having space to acknowledge and honor your accomplishments, or where you have come, how far you've come on your journey. So I'm going to start off with I guess the energies that we're in. So today's the last day of April, and I wrote like this long letter to myself on my Instagram page, which is healingbygiusi, if you want to follow that. And I just felt like it was something really important, because we're moving into, there's been a lot of transitional energy happening all through the entire month of April, starting from, it's all been transitional, especially like since we're all like heightened with the pandemic and stuff. There's so much deep stuff happening. But with all the energies that we've been having in the last month, because we were moved into Aries in the middle of March, and that was like a good energy to like move forward and start things going, and then into Taurus season, which is very like grounded and earthy like energy, which allowed us to sit with things more. So it was a good energy to help us really process a lot of things, and that all came to like an explosion, I'd like to call it, on our nice full moon in Scorpio that we just had last Monday night. So as I mentioned on my Instagram page, if you follow it, Scorpio is very deep energy, emotional energy, and Scorpio energy is usually have very deep emotions. There's lots of things that they don't bring to the surface, lots of I guess hidden truths that are just not going to be coming up, that they're going to stay like either hidden or in denial, or some things just there's not even any awareness of it. So that full moon kind of just like brought it all up, and it's like, here's your shit, deal with it. Can't hide from this anymore. So if you might notice that, like leading up to the full moon, and even now, especially now since the full moon, it's been quite intense. You might notice that you've been getting triggered by a lot of things, people around you, and situations, and feeling the intensity of that, and maybe reacting more than you normally would have because of that intensity. So it's okay. Just allow it to happen, and as long as you have some awareness, because some people don't have awareness and they're like, what's going on, right? Well, this is what's happening, and so just allow it to happen, and allow yourself to process those things. It could be a lot coming up, and just allowing yourself to look at what those things are, to think about them, to release them, to heal them, to forgive, or make peace with whatever those things are, or just even like allowing that space to acknowledge it and being like, hey, this is happening here, and here it is. I just need you to see that this is happening, and to allow yourself to feel that. All of those things are essentially what it means to like hold space for things that are coming up, and healing and processing it. So I did a really, really beautiful full moon ritual on Monday night, and I normally do rituals on full moons and even on new moons sometimes, and I normally write the things I want to release, and the things I want to call into my life, my intentions. So the thing that was a little bit different this full moon was because there was such a huge element of forgiveness coming in, because in order for us to move forward onto new things, new beginnings, and have new things into our life, we really need to make peace and forgive things and let go of them. Like, if we're holding on to them so tightly, then we're not going to be able to have an open hand ready to receive something else. So it's important to allow things to leave. And when we do forgiveness is for our own selves. Let's be real, it has nothing to do with the other person. When you forgive and release or have resolution, that is only for your own process and finding a way to resolve that and move forward, right? So I did a forgiveness ceremony. And what I did was I wrote down every single name of every person that I felt has done me wrong, or that I was harboring bad feelings towards. And, since my childhood, basically, I wrote all these names down on these little slivers of paper, and I collected them in a bowl. And then in another bowl, I put slivers of my intentions. So what I did was I had a candle, and I set a beautiful intention to that candle. I lit the candle, and then as I picked out each name. I said my piece that I needed to say for each name. And then I said that I forgive you and I release you from my energy field. And then I burned the name in the fire and let it go. And after I was done that, I said a prayer, and then I called in the intentions the same way. So that was, I feel, so cathartic for me. I felt a shift in my energy the next day. It was almost instantaneous, and you don't realize how many parts of yourselves, how many parts within ourselves are holding on to things. Even something that seems so trivial, but you have to remember that, especially when things happen when you were smaller, or when you never learned something to help you deal with that to that capacity. So we can be holding on to things that maybe if it happened now, you would totally not care about it and be like, okay, that's like no biggie. But your person from 10 years ago, yourself, or your inner child who didn't have the emotional capacity to deal with anything, when you've experienced that at that time in your life, you didn't have the lessons or capacity to deal with that. So you will be harboring those feelings. So even though it doesn't faze you now, there's parts of you that are holding on to that. So it's important to release all those parts within you. And I did that with every name, every single name I could have thought of. And I just said my piece, I let them go, and I burned it, and I let all those people go from my energy field. And I felt so much lighter after that, and it was beautiful. It's such a good forgiveness ceremony to do. If you want, you don't have to wait for the full moon to do it. If you want to do it, if you want to do a forgiveness ceremony, and you can incorporate any other things into that as well. It doesn't have to be that. It can be something different. You can write a letter. Doing a ritual or a ceremony it's something very sacred to you, and figuring out a way that's going to be meaningful to you and impactful to you is the important part here, right? So then I called in my intentions, and that was my full moon ritual, and I completed it by doing some other stuff, and it was fine. So I felt pretty good there, but I can continue to feel like the energy. So now we're at the end of April, and we're moving into May. May is the month devoted to the Virgin Mary, the Mother. It is the divine feminine energy. And so we move into this beautiful sacred energy of the divine feminine from a place of that felt quite chaotic and energetically charged. So there was so much transformation that has been happening, and now we get to bask in that energy of I'm here, this is the divine feminine, I'm going to take up this space and power and be this is me, here I am. And with that, this is the second portion of my video. So with the energies that I said in the first part of the video, that collective energies have been in complete transformation, and we have been for a long time, but it's just the intensity has been quite high. And lately, and like I said, the Scorpio full moon really wanted us to go in deep to things that maybe we weren't even aware of, and to let those go, and to really have that element of forgiveness and be like, you might have said that you're over this, but are you really? So, when I called up every name and I made my peace and said those things, I said it in a way that was meaningful to me, where I can feel in my heart chakra, in my solar plexus, I can feel that release, and that I felt at peace with him. And then after that, I burned the name. It wasn't just something I was doing mindlessly and burning names and being like, fuck this person. Or like, screw you, get out, I forgive you, goodbye. Like, it wasn't like that. It was very meaningful and intentional. And it was just really, it was very beautiful. Some of the names that I had to, that I burned are, they can be even people that are still in your life that you just had to like make peace with, and you just had to release those things that you were harboring for that person. But some of the people I had to let go of, there were some tears, but it had to be done. And so you move on, and it was very intentional and meaningful and sacred, and it was beautiful. So as I said, as a collective, we've been having so many shifts, and so quickly the transformation, that sometimes it's been so hard to keep up. And with this pandemic, obviously we're isolated. I'm in Ontario, which has been like a nightmare in terms of like, we're still in lockdown, and so it's been quite intense. And so we're all primed for feeling rattled and triggered by things, which is honestly a perfect storm to have these things come up and deal with them. So with that, I know I always talk about having grace for yourself and having compassion, but I really, really mean it. And I keep saying it because it is so incredibly important, because we've been taught those things, to have grace for ourselves and to have compassion for ourselves. So while we're going through these shifts and transitions, it's important to hold that space for self and honor, because we're so used to muting and not feeling our things, and so we cope with different mechanisms, different addictions, whether it's drugs and alcohol, or overworking, people who are overambitious, and people who are obsessed with like making money, or sex and relationships, food, gambling, like finding TV. There's so many different things, addictions out there that you can use to kind of pacify the feelings or the situation, and to like, put on blinders and not have to deal with it. So, we are a society that is basically like taught from a young age to be that way, and to not sit here with our feelings, and not, when I'm having difficult emotions come up, and especially like when I was little, I wasn't even allowed to have difficult emotions. God forbid if I had difficult emotions, like it'd be like, you're not allowed to cry, you're not allowed to express like any kind of like disappointment, or any grievances, or anything that you had, you just have to take whatever it is, and you cannot express your emotions at all. There's no space for that. So society kind of reflects that back to you, and in terms of like, you got to go to work, and you got to do what you got to do to make ends meet, and just keep trudging along and doing whatever. Suck it up, like suck it up, buttercup, or chin up, and always taking the focus away from the dark feelings that we're having, as if it's something bad, like don't look at it. But that's not true. It's not something bad. In fact, that's where the most healing and transformation happens, is when you can look at that stuff and sit with it and hold it and honor it and give it that space to exist, to be seen, to just be present in all of that. That's when your connection, that's when you can connect with yourself. That's when you can allow yourself to be seen by yourself, even, because you can't be seen by other people if you can't even see yourself. So sitting with yourself, giving yourself that space to honor yourself, and just have grace for yourself while you're going through this, without not having any judgment or shame, and just say, hey, I know you're feeling these sad feelings, I know it sucks, but I'm here, and you're allowed to. You don't have to shove it away. You don't have to do anything but feel it. That's all you gotta do is feel it. Sit here and hold that space for yourself and have that grace for yourself and have that compassion and kindness for yourself. Those are the things that you want to bring in to your life, into your space. And that is that sacred energy that you want to cultivate with yourself, because your relationship with yourself is going to be, it's your primary relationship that is going to be the most important relationship that's going to reflect everything else that's happening around you. So it's important to build that with yourself. And I know that most of us didn't have the opportunity to have that built in our lifetime with our caregivers and in the family dynamics that we've had. But we have the opportunity to do that now as adults and to bring in that healthy relationship with ourselves. And then through that, we can experience healthier connections with others and relationships with others. So, yes, so I know I say about the grace thing, like I said, over and over again, but it's really important. And having that patience, grace, love, compassion for yourself is really important. So now that I said we're moving into the energy of May, it's the divine feminine energy, and that's not, it's not something that's gendered, the divine feminine energy. That is something that every person has. So that is a very beautiful and sacred energy. It's also one of pure power and creation, and the divine feminine is the creation energy. And what that means is literally when you do make or build anything, anytime something comes out, whether it's spoken word, you're writing, you're dancing, anytime you are making something, it's all creation energy, right? So honoring that part of you and who you are and what you bring to this world is so incredibly important. So trying to move into that energy in May is going to be important for you. So take some time and some moments to sit there with yourself and try to sit with that energy of creation energy, your divine feminine energy, which is also really compassionate. It's very powerful. It's very what's the word I'm looking for? It's a very I can't think of the word right now. So, someone who's very in charge. That's what I'm looking for. Like very in charge, and I don't want to use the words in control, because nobody really is in control. So, but you're in charge of your destiny, of your actions, and there's more authenticity coming through. There's more softness, but fierceness as well. And we can tap into that the more we tap into ourselves, our own selves. And that's why we needed to let go of all that and experience all these immense life transformations, so that we can move into that energy freely and embody all of who we are and bring that forward. Because what we need is that we need people to be more connected with themselves, because we are all so incredibly disconnected, and the disconnection is just mirrored throughout everything around us. And so in order to bring that connection back to ourselves, we need to do the inner work and dig deep and heal, release, forgive, and love ourselves. And then we can move in to this energy of knowing who we are, feeling comfortable and confident in who we are, and showing up as who we are authentically, without that judgment, without that shame, but with patience, with love, and with kindness and grace. Anyways, I hope this video was really helpful. I just wanted all of you to take that moment today, or whenever you see this video, set up a time to honor yourself. If you want to write yourself a letter I wrote a letter. If you want to go to my Instagram page, it's healingbygiusi, I'll write it below. And I wrote a letter telling myself how proud I am of how far I've come in my journey. So taking that time to tell yourself all of that and to acknowledging that is always important, because every step you take is a goal reached. I know it might not feel like the end of your goal, but it's always a goal reached. Taking a step forward is always a goal reached. Okay, so remember that. No matter how small or insignificant it seems to you, like celebrate your wins, celebrate your accomplishments, celebrate, the advances you've made in your life, in your healing, and in your journey, and just like really honor that and honor yourself. Honor yourself because you deserve to be honored. You deserve to feel that love, like for yourself. Like you need to feel that love for yourself. You need to feel love and pride and gentleness and compassion for yourself. So do all of that as we complete April and move into this beautiful divine feminine energy of May. And I wish you all so much love. I wish you all so much peace. And that is all. Anyways, like this video and subscribe if you can. And I hope you have a wonderful day. Take care, and I'll see you later. Bye.